What's up? Today we're going to talk about what some of the most common lead generation problems small business owners face today. Let's get started. All right, so here I'm going to minimize myself a little bit and having a little fun here with some software, controlling myself. Sounds a little weird when you say that, but all right, so let's jump into it. So when we first sometimes come across business owners, one of the first things I notice is that they're unsure what to offer. And so instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, which is what a lot of people do, and we constantly are struggling and trying to figure out, oh, what if I just do this? Oh, and so is doing that. And first thing you want to do is evaluate, put eval, what has worked. So by discovering what has worked, you can stop playing the guessing game. And I think a lot of times there's so much confusion that we're not sure what to do that we get stuck. And when we get stuck, it causes frustration. When frustration starts to happen, we then come into inactivity, meaning we don't take the step to the next step. And so one of the first things you do is figure out what you want to offer. Now, once you figure out what you want to offer, you have to figure out how to tell the world that you are trying to offer this. So how are you going to tell the world about this unique offer? Now, before we tell them this, now we want to tell them this, but before we tell them this, let's make sure the offer is an offer. And I'm going to save this for the next episode and having a unique offer. And so right now we're just going to get into more of the distribution, the aspects of behind of getting people interested in this and actually following through. But next time we'll get into what is unique offer. Boom. So for now, we need to tell people about this offer. So a lot of times people decide to do it traditional methods. So most small business owners will use what I will say is a traditional method. So if you're using a traditional method, what would you say a traditional method would be? A lot of times people would say flyers. They might say, what's another one that a lot of people use? Flyers, mailers. That typically have about 1% return, if that, especially now with Corona. So then you have mailers. If not mailers, then a lot of times people want to go big. They think billboard. You know, in our area, we see tons of lawyers who put their billboard advertising on the actual highway. And so a billboard advertisement is about $15,000. It could be higher and lower depending on who you are, depending on the type of billboard it is. And there are some that are digital that fluctuate, so it's going to be less. But about $15,000. And then you go, imagine, wow, during rush hour, like how many thousands of people see your offer, right? So people say, how many thousands? And they're like, oh, wow, that's amazing, right? But here's the problem. You are competing against multiple billboards. Literally, I drove today on the freeway. I went through 5 billboards in a row. And I literally cannot tell you the name of any of those attorneys off the top of my head. And it's not that because I don't care, I don't like marketing. It just didn't stick out to me. Now, your brain does this thing where it looks for things that are important to it. It's kind of like when you buy a new, say, car, and all of a sudden you start noticing other new cars or cars like your car. And so that's your brain becomes activated to that. Now, that being said, when we're trying to target people, and we call this direct response marketing. And so when we are trying to get a direct response from the people that we're trying to reach out to. So we're not just advertising to everybody, because if you have a $15,000 budget, you're on the bigger tier. And I don't like to gamble with money, and neither should you. And so when you're just throwing $15,000 at a problem to create a solution that you don't know what the outcome is, you're basically gambling in advertising and hope it works. So you're rolling the dice and hope it works. And that's one of the biggest problems I notice. So what I would say is, one is choose a media type. So the media type that we have, the media type that we can have, and make sure I'm still visible on here. Yep. We have written. we have written, we have audio, we have video, and what else is left? Written, video, that's pretty much the bulk of it. And you can combine these in different formats in different places. And I'm not even talking about the actual, like, say, a pop-up ad, which would be a written picture ad. We're not even talking about that. We're just talking about, like, what's the type? And so we need to have content in order to promote the offer. So your content can be a number of different ways. And the biggest, I think, error that most people make is their inability to, let me erase all this, is their inability to kind of have patience. And so, story about patience, because patience is a thing, a virtue that's hard to kind of see, and we just don't want to take the time to understand, like, patience is really important. So, but when you're in direct response marketing, you want results now. Like, right? Who doesn't want results right now? And so when I first started working out, I was working out. I probably weighed probably about 110 pounds. So I was 110 pounds, and I never was like, man, I'm never gonna get any bigger. You know, I was always strong, but I just didn't have the size. It was a late bloomer, I was called, right? And so all of a sudden, I was still putting in the work. And I remember the first time, if you ever work out, you have this bar, and it's just this metal bar, and there you can put the weights on the bar. And at the end of it, you just try to lift the bar. And when you first touch that bar, and you're like, you feel a little shaky, and then you're like, okay, you see guys with these plates, and you put 245 plates on it, which is 135 pounds. And I couldn't do 135 pounds when I first started off. So I heard it was me 110 pounds. And I remember 95 pounds was like, woo, like, you know, you're just kind of getting started. Your muscles don't know what they're doing. It just felt awkward. Well, not having the patience, a lot of times people will automatically go up super high. You see these guys doing all this weight. They're maybe they're new. If you work out regularly, you know what this is. But if you're new and you're not used to your muscles aren't used to that sort of pressure to actually start to build and grow, the likelihood of you injuring yourself goes up dramatically. So instead of going up to, say, 325, I decided to, you know what, I'm gonna just do the work. I'm gonna work out multiple muscles, and throughout the time, I got to the ability to where, 325 was an issue and higher, and it just became something that, because I worked at it, because I put in the time and the energy, and I understood that your body doesn't respond like this. But when it comes to our advertising, we want the response today, immediately. And so it is possible to get people to respond right away. But if you were interested in somebody in the, say, the dating space, do you want somebody who's going to take the time to get to know you a little bit better, take the time to invest in you in some level to know that they care? Or do you want somebody that's just going to get you in and out? So I'll equate this to people who are in the fitness world. A lot of times we'll do promotions that are kind of gimmicky, catchy. You know, we'll put people in, get them in there real fast, promise them a lot, and then we ultimately end up hurting them because they don't trust the business. So they lose trust. And so when you lose trust in the industry because you feel like people are sleazy, you feel like people don't care, or you feel like they just want your money, then it hurts your business, and it ultimately hurts your ideal customer. So we don't want to be short-sighted like that. So if we don't want to be short-sighted, and there are plays for fast plays, don't get me wrong, there are times you need a quick play because you're hurting for money, but we're thinking long-term. So that's one of the errors I say that people make, is they think short-term. Now, what could we do? If I like written, meaning I can easily create content that's written, or I can hire somebody to do it quickly. I can run an ad that's around curiosity based, around the topic that interests my ideal avatar. So if I did an article, I could then pixel this article, which means when somebody comes to this space and they start to read, you got a little picture here, and they start to read all these little great details, and you might have what they call a, let me change my ink here. You you might have what they call a call to action. Okay, so call to action just means you are giving somebody an opportunity to go to a deeper level. Now, this can be an article, it can be a written article, it can be a video, it can also be something auditory. So you have a means to do this. Now, when we advertise right here, this is a warmer sale, meaning we are warming people up. We're warming them up here. By warming people up, you're not just going in straight for the slam and the close. You're like going, hey, here's some information, here's this thing, and you find out people are engaged in it. And the same thing is true with the video, versus just going, buy. I want you to buy this now, because that's what we want as business owners. We want you to buy it right now, right? Who doesn't want that? But if we take a moment and go, sometimes we have to educate our customer. Sometimes we have to bring them to, they're trying to get out of pain, or they're trying to go towards pleasure. So when they're looking for something, or they see something that catches their eye, sometimes they're not even realizing they have the problem that they have. So they need to digest it a little bit. Sometimes they may not be in that moment to deal with it. So if you just go for straight the buy and you rub them the wrong way, and it's like going to that club when clubs were allowed, and you meet somebody and they're all like, you're seeing that guy at the club who's all over that person, and everyone's just like, oh, what's wrong with them? We don't want to be like that. That is like intrusive marketing. Now you need to get people's attention. I agree with you on that, but you don't need to be obnoxious. And so I think I've gone through a phase of obnoxiousness, and then the platforms that we're using, they don't want that, because ultimately they want to serve their customers. So what we're going to do is consider, hey, where are we? So if we are on a parenting.com kind of website, we're not going to put on maybe an ad that's going to kind of make the owners of that website frown, because their customers are going to frown when they see something like, say, a half naked person, right? They're like, oh, and they're not even going to care what's on the content on that site anymore, because you just pushed them away. So we have to consider, what is the platform we're working on? So not only do we have to come up with what is written, we have to know where are we going to do this? And so knowing the basic W's, who, what, when, where, why, didn't say how though, knowing the W's and figuring out how do we best fit in this ecosystem. So if we're getting ready and we're a small business owner and we go like, hey, let's pick a product. Let's just pick a product. Just name a product. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's see. I mentioned fitness earlier. We can pick another one. Anything. Plumbing service. We can pick. Oh, here roofing. Roofing's always an interesting one because it's expensive out here. Super expensive. Average roof out here costs at least about, say, $18,000. We can just say 20 to make it simple. $20,000, right? I remember doing my roof as a kid and sweating my butt off and doing a bunch of work, and we didn't even spend half that to do it ourselves. Another story. All right, so we're going to target roofers. Okay, so if I'm a roofer, maybe my ideal customer, say I specialize in asphalt. So we're going to do regular, say traditional style. So we're going to do traditional style. So what I might have is somebody compose an article of, say, not iron, but a metal roof. A metal roof versus a traditional roof. And I might have somebody take my points, whether or not I write it. So I might have some points here, and someone turn it into an article. Then I might give it, what I need to do at this point is give it a, that looks like a smiley face section there. What I need to give it is a sexy hook. So maybe 3 top mistakes homeowners make when getting a new roof. I misspelled that. When getting a new roof. So, and this can definitely be improved. Okay, but I just want to kind of just get it out there. All right. So 3 top mistakes homeowners make when getting a new roof. Boom. So if I'm in the market, kind of similar to what I was saying, like I'm in the market, my brain is activated. Well, no matter where I'm at, I see a article like that, it's going to catch my attention. Now, here we have an opportunity to deepen that relationship. We narrow the focus of where we're advertising. We now have a targeted message, and then we're going to now mark these people. Now, with some of the changes on Facebook and being able to target, some of those changes are happening, and it's going to probably happen to a lot of platforms because it's not just going to be Facebook. It's just an iOS issue, which means Apple doesn't want you to be able to target people as much. So we have to work at becoming better at marketing and stop trying to go for the quick fix. And so with that, we put out this article. And a lot of times people might bookmark it because if you're going to spend, $10,000, $20,000, that is not a fast buying decision. You have to understand that you have people who are looking, trying to find solutions. And so they might need some education and a little bit more talking to. But once they're on that page, you have the ability to control their actions more. So once you're on that page, we can then in turn decide, okay, what do we want them to take part in? What can we offer them? So maybe we want to give them a cheat sheet guide on the best tips to save in your roof. So that might be something to consider, right? Go 3 top. So let's do 7 tips to avoid overpaying for your roof. That's one idea. What's another idea? We can do a survey. Discover average roofing prices in your area. So these are just different ways, and we might have a pop-up show up. We might put it in the article. Different ways to get people to engage and then collect their data. So most people, it's so funny, I wasn't even planning on going this long. Most people will not try to collect the data. Take, for example, those of us who know businesses who use Groupon. So when it comes to something like a Groupon, what most people would do is offer, say, a 50% discount. So when they offer that 50% discount, massive discount, sounds super great, and a bunch of people go, whoa, I want that. Maybe it's a buy one, get one free, whatever it is, right? So you can collect it. So the customer collects this. So customer collects this. And when they collect it, what most people do in the business, who are business owners, they go, here is the money. Maybe I can make a little upsell. You want a drink with that? You want, they want some sort of upsell, right? So here we can get some sort of upsell. And then from there, they go, thank you. Thank you very much. Come back again. Now, what I personally would recommend, if you're willing to go, hey, I'm going to give you this discount, 50%. And not to mention, half of that 50%, or there's some fee, is going to, say, Groupon. So now, the only way you're making money is 2 things. 1, is they buy extra, and 2, if they come back. Now, what's the likelihood of someone coming back if you just condition them that the price of what you're offering is 50% off? Now, if they already know that that's the price, then you, the 50% off, if they think that's the value, then they're just going to wait for the next coupon. right? Who people just wait. They're just the cheapies, right? Cheap people who just wait. Now, there's some people who go, wow, this is a great deal, and you make sure you let them know it is a promotion. And since we are doing this promotion, this is what I'm gonna need from you. Since I'm hooking you up, can you at least do me a favor, and I'm gonna need maybe an email address from you? How's that sound? Or how about a phone number? Guess what you can even do? Hey, do you like these kind of specials? Because if you want, I could put you on our texting list and text you our next special. You might have this somewhere available, whether it's online or in your place. The storefront these days can be virtual, can be in person, but understand you're going to have an offer ability to capture that lead. At a minimum, you're collecting the name and the email. At a minimum, stop giving away stuff for free. You can give it away, but you're getting something in return. It's an exchange of value. That's why we buy things, because you're exchanging value. So I would do as much as you can. And if you get a texting list, now these are people who want, yes, I want bargains. Now, if you do bargains every day, then your bargains become the standard. So there's a place that would always give $12.99 oil changes, and that became the standard in the mind of their customers because they didn't have to bring a coupon. They didn't have to do anything special, and so when it really cost $40, they'd come in expecting 12, and when it wasn't 12, they got disappointed and say, oh, I'll go somewhere else. Knock the fact like, hey, we're giving you this special. It's only good to hear, and let them know like, hey, this special is good for now, and then collect that information. So then you can use it later, because the cost to acquire the customer, how much does it cost to acquire? And a lot of times people don't look at this. They just look at how much money I'm making. How much money am I making today? And it's because we have worked so hard, whether you're a dentist, you're a plumber, whatever it is, you work so hard to get good at what you do that you didn't have time to focus on marketing. You just go, oh, it works or it doesn't work because you tried to boost an ad. And so if you just think short-sighted and you just boost stuff, what you do is you feel good because you see people are seeing it. But if you don't know what people are doing, you're not collecting the data, people aren't coming in your door, people aren't calling, people aren't texting your business, then you have no way of actually understanding where that marketing money is going. Now, if that's a branding play, you're welcome to do that branding play. But just understand, if your goal is to get more customers, the biggest lead generation mistake that most business owners make is they're not sure, what they're going to offer, how they're going to deliver it, and they're not collecting that data. So I want to encourage you guys to collect the data, think about things from a holistic standpoint, not just the micro where I have to post on social media, but you're not creating offers. You're not creating the ability for somebody to go, yes, here's my information because I like what you do, and I want this thing that you have, the service that you have, the product that you have. So think about that. And so start integrating that into your advertising so that you can accelerate your business to the next level, so that when things happen, as they're happening right now, the market is changing. And if you don't feel it, you're going to see it. And if you're not advertising, you're behind the ball. The $15,000 billboards are always going to be around. But think about, are you able to track that? Do you actually know how many people are coming in it? And are you getting a return on your investment? So for us in the marketing world, we want the ability to, at least at a minimum, first of all, we're going to break even from our ads. And then we have the ability to make profit off it. Then now we have the list of the customer for absolutely free and actually come into a profit. And we'll talk about that next time. But keep pushing. Think about these lead generation problems that most small business owners face, so you don't end up like that and end up, let me do my little frumpy sign, because we want this for our business, right? We already had enough struggle as it is, so let's make ourselves happy and start implementing simple techniques to help our business grow. See you next time. Keep pushing. And also, we're going to be doing a challenge coming up, so make sure to subscribe to the Facebook group or like this video, subscribe to this channel so we can notify you when we're going with our next challenge to help you get more leads in your business. Keep pushing, guys. Talk to you next time, and thanks for watching. So I post a lot of videos on my entrepreneurial journey, mindset, interviewing top coaches, entrepreneur business owners, you name it. I try to work my best to help you guys see the greatest content that's going to help elevate your game and grow your business. Now, one of the things we did is we created a tool, a software tool that's cost us literally thousands of dollars and almost 2 years to create. With this tool, we are giving away a lifetime license, and it's very important that you guys, when you hear what I'm saying, that we build and grow and engage our list. You control the list. You have the ability to do the Oprah effect. So with that, you guys visit SBWarriors/my-resources. You have access to get a lifetime license for absolutely free. And you can see some of the other tools we use, which is very important in maintaining and growing your business. While we wait for next week's video, if you guys would like, you can take a look at one of these two videos here or here to get started, where we typically go over social media marketing, interviews, see some of the top stuff that's going on currently in the business sphere as far as helping you grow your business. So check out these two videos, get started, have a great day. We appreciate you guys watching, and keep pushing. Push to grow, to get help to keep growing your business for this year and many years to come. I'm pushing for you guys. Have a great one, and we'll see you next time. Lead generation problem. What's up? Today we're going to talk about what some of the most common lead generation